Hey guys, I'm Andrei, a certified translator and a real estate concierge. My company, LLC SIS, has been successfully relocating people to Belarus over the last 4 years. Our major is immigration consultancy. Relocation and real estate are very close together, so the real estate assistance is always there. Often, if needed, involving the certified professionals. I'm not a real estate agent. That means I'm not employed by any agency and I'm not selling any properties. I am guiding you through the best options that you have on hand to get your issue solved, to get you the best solution for your case. Please do not consider this release as some kind of a professional guidance. Anything professional and anything efficient normally comes with a certain price tag. The facts and figures I'm going to present and talk about are probably helpful when it comes to a deeper research of this or that aspect as you're trying to buy yourself a property or tailor a relocation way for yourself and your family here in Belarus. Let's get started. Just a tiny little bit about geopolitics. Things, again, seem to be warming up, and it seems like the big bosses will be shaking each other's hairy hand to strike a peace deal of some kind. And whether or not this means some kind of a stable market over here is a really big guess. Badly dependent on those handshakes is the rate of the Russian ruble, to which our ruble is tied up. So the whole military sector working next door quite hard is going to be converting to do something else, and that may not be conducive to the Russian ruble stability. Whether or not this will up the US dollar rate, we don't know. We can only guess. So far, the US dollar goes down a little bit, and the buyers are not very active because they were last year. And whether or not they will be active this year is hard to tell because the number of offers on the market is down, and the amount of loan money is not as available as it used to be before October last year. And that fueled 30% of the deals on the market. So it's really hard to tell where we're going, as always. But the reality is as follows. Minsk is obviously the biggest market. That's why if you have some money to put into the game, Minsk apartment is the best way to settle down and get your residency here. And obviously, one-room apartment, which has some liquid potential on the market, is the way to go. Lately, we've been shopping in Vitebsk, where apartments are twice as cheap, roughly. And very soon we'll be showing some high colors about the deal we've had a couple of weeks ago. I operated on the client's power of attorney. And we'll guide you through the usual steps that it takes before an owner moves in and gets his residency application filed, getting some hardware, some devices, and throwing them into the place which we clean up after the previous owner gives us the keys. But we have moved off the track. January in Minsk, the largest market, saw about 1,000 real estate deals. Some will be added to the database of the land office. Land office is an informal name. It's neither called BTI anymore. The official term applied to the land office where the ownership deals get registered or the property status gets registered is this long. And simply I call it land office. That's the best way to go. So they show the record lowest January number of deals over the recent years. But interestingly enough, the number of deals with $100,000 plus properties has increased. It's roughly 16% or something, over 150 deals with places like that. The most expensive property belongs to a block which I let's say, do not understand. I was about to say hate, but since I don't really have money to shop in there, I'll be a bit more. One-room and two-room flats were the best sellers in their respective sections of the market. And you also have to distinguish the newly built properties and the second-hand properties. And there was just 7% deals with the newly built properties in Minsk. One of the reasons, they build less. We can analyze the open data available to the National Cadastre Agency about the deals that took place and see more or less accurate figures. about the real deals, which show that one-room apartments in Minsk reached the price of $1,770 something per square meter, and two-room flats came at $1,500 and change. 3- and 4-room flats are the worst sellers, of course. They were selling respectively around $1,440 each per square meter. Obviously, depending on their condition, depending on their location, the per meter price could have shifted a little bit, so you really can't use these figures to judge to build an accurate plan or to design a certain strategy. You need to see the area, you need to judge by the area for sure, the age of the building, the condition, and so on and so forth. Minsk geography remains the same, except there is one cool upgrade. The whole city has been plugged into the artesian bore wells, which means the water quality has increased across the whole city. And with, let's say, with some inspiration and perhaps donation money behind me, I could try and review the districts of Minsk area by area with their pros and cons. And these reviews may be helpful in your strategy to relocate and buy a property in a specific area of Minsk. In light of rather strong uncertainty and rather blurred picture of what's oncoming, dollar rate going down, buyers quite uncertain about their income and definitely not certain about paying 18% interest rate to buy somewhat overpriced properties of the sellers being greedy, traditionally they are, and kind of uncooperative, very few of them are. That's why you need a translator at least to cut through the deal and interact with the agents of your potential sellers. I would say that the future is quite intriguing, and I will not be even quoting the experts who are saying about the same. Let's just assume that the US dollar rate is going to go up because of the geopolitics, and the sellers will be pushed to lower their expectations of the market, pretty much dependent on the outcomes of the negotiations, which are not exactly stopping the whole mess next door in 24 hours, but you know, it's getting there. And I can even feel it because even Americans are asking for quotations for a package trip to Belarus for April, May, and this is kind of positive because people are warming up and feeling that the rockets are no longer flying over our heads over here, and Minsk is just a destination enough, like any other place. So stay with the channel, and I hope I'll be throwing in some highlights very soon. And obviously and inescapably, thank you very much, guys, for supporting me. A gentleman called Brian from the US, and a gentleman called Peter, and a few other names over here, plus the patrons who actually subscribe to do monthly donations. $5 or $10 just make me feel that the channel is necessary, that my expertise over here isn't wasted, and you are kind of enjoying the show, I hope. The direct contact is over here, available for a consultancy. Consultancy is paid, unfortunately, or fortunately, and this will allow you to see if my expertise will pave your way to Belarus, or you are needing another operator for a comparatively moderate amount of money. Last but not least, speaking about the local bank loans, although they come at fairly murderous interest rates, I would like to point out there is a company that has been in the market for a while, providing loans to people without any, let's call it transparent or even officially existing salary record, with their money thrown in, 30% for the property. They allow you to do installments for the property of your choice and become an owner, even if you're a foreigner. The circumstance which will politely make the banks politely refuse you at any application or request for a loan if you haven't worked in Belarus a day, which is a reasonable way to go as long as you can get an overseas employment with decent salary, which you can get here at a reasonable commission or a transfer loss of some kind, or just use your card and it works. So I hope to be hooking up with that company very soon, and I'll put in a clip. I'll film a clip about what they do, maybe interview with their promotion department, and tell you about how such a deal may be working out. I believe I referred to that thing in the previous clips, but it would be more interesting to get into their office and hear directly with all the catches that I otherwise may omit.